Alright, green-white enchantments. This is one of the aggressive decks I've really enjoyed in this format. We're going to play this one on the ladder today. We've got 4 days left on the ladder, like 3.5 days. And I'm hoping this one can hit an okay streak and pull us up. I like that this deck has both an aggressive slant to run people down on occasion with its cheap threats, but can also generate incredible amounts of card advantage with both Champion and Season of Growth. I like this build that has all of the enchant creatures in it because it can power up your squad. We've got a flying threat as well as Angelic Gift and Setessan Training here to give our things evasion. So let's go ahead and hop on into the ladder here and see how this goes. And seems fine. Looking for maybe another land, looking for some enchant creatures to power myself up. Would like a Setessan Champion or a... I think I play this on defense here. Would like a Champion or a Season of Growth here. Might as well bump Sultai mid-range tomorrow. Sounds good, Redlocks. I appreciate it. Nice, Johnny. Perfect. I think I'm just going to play Paradise Druid here. And then we'll Season of Growth plus Sentinel's Eyes next turn. On the stack. Thanks for the 21 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm going to Rimrock into ambush me. Yeah, looks like it. It's unfortunate. Oh, I guess this does this, though. That's not bad. I'd really like to draw an untapped land here. I guess I just play this out and then pass. The sound effects are they a little low? I think I lowered it the other day when we played Raid, so I can turn those up a bit. That's super unfortunate because it stops my protection creatures from working. Did do a lot here. No, Danon. That's too slow and clunky for this format. And then your opponent still gets the Wish Claw and gets to take a thing, so... doesn't sound good enough. Yeah, we're dead. Needed to draw land, it didn't. Story of Magic the Gathering. And this is why, even when you're playing a deck that's good, playing on the ladder is still incredibly high variance. You know, there's going to be a lot of games where you just make all the right decisions and just things just don't pan out. It's just how it works. It's the matchup where I cut Life Bounty because of Questing's Beast. That might be the case. There are only 20 lands in this build too, which is something to consider. From standard green-red aggro, sounds good, Terran Terror. Will do. Bringing these in as threats, maybe try at least one of those. Don't know this is a Banishing Light matchup. Let's give this a go. sure. Pelt Collector's really good when you play it on one every game. Yeah, Sand was too slow to keep. Hey, Melodic Lyrics. Thanks for doling out some sub-gifties. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday wherever you're at. Remember the gift of speech Lyrics gives? Can also be taken away. I guess I just passed back because like they almost assuredly have Bone Crusher here, right? That's why they chucked that in. So we'll take 2 in combat here. We'll chop down the Bone Crusher, take another 2. Want to chop down the Bone Crusher post-combat because chopping it down is going to make the Pelt Collector bigger. The white source I was hoping for, but eh. Evernaut Questerson, a Cronin War. Interesting. Oh, this is enchant creature I control. So when that condition's no longer met, it falls off. That's great. So this won't die to the last chapter on this, which is wonderful. I think we're dead, chat. Yeah, they're just like playing around the chop down here. It's smart after seeing the first one. Yeah, it felt really bad. Let's see how this goes. It's a deck we played a couple of times. I felt okay the first couple of times, but sample sizes are small. We'll see if it still feels good after jamming a couple of matches with it. Got a little bit of fortune in the first game there, but like the deck also just doesn't have a lot of lands in it. So like our deck building played into our variance there for sure. I could Blessing and then chop down their thing. That's a cute idea. That would have worked, right? It's not target creature you control. I really wish they would, and again, like, just there's nothing consistent about how R&D does anything, right? Like, once upon a time, they started templating all of the cards like this to be you control, and then, like, this just randomly isn't you control. So, like, I just assume, and, like, even this, right? Angelic Gift is enchant creature. Training is enchant creature you control. Why is that a distinction? Why is that a difference? These two things should be templated the same. Why is this templated differently than Blossoming Defense? Definitely one of my bigger complaints surrounding some of their design choices in recent memory. You know what? This is a mistake. With Blessing in my hand, I should wait to play this All That Glitters. Because they're going to play like a Teferi or a Brazen Borrower and bounce this. I'm going to be really sad. Sure, Happy Boys. But if the point is to make it viable for stuff like that, why wouldn't you? That still doesn't explain why they wouldn't template them all in one way or another. Like, my complaint isn't that one way or another is better. There's upside and downsides to templating in both ways, as is the case with most things surrounding Magic. My complaint is no consistency. Why is this instance different than this other instance of this similar effect? That is my complaint. So, punish there for a mistake that I made. Obviously should have played around this Brazen Borrower. Just like kind of went on autopilot and jammed my thing there. So would have not only countered the Borrower, but would have prevented myself from losing the all-deck glitters down the line. As always is the case, if you're going to tell me I'm wrong, I'm going to need you to cite a source. What's the... You think there's a power level reason Angelic Gift is any creature and Setessan Training is target creature? You think there's a power level difference for that difference? What's the power level for Angelic Gift versus that? There's a power level difference there. Probably dead because honestly, with the Shatter, even if I'd played her on Borrower, probably dead here regardless. This might be a fast set with this deck, and I might get to a third one today. I added this deck to the queue myself because I wanted to play it again. Because I both wanted to try and climb some ladder rank, and I wanted to see if this was a deck I wanted to play next month if I qualify. And I'm quickly moving towards it is not a deck I want to play next month. We're gonna take 7 here, down to 7. If they have a Nissa, we're probably just dead. If they don't have a Nissa, I get to suit this up and attack. Only 3 cards in their bin, so Uro's not coming back this turn yet, so that's nice. So, like, if I attack, they get to block because they can bounce my Angelic Destiny. Man, that sucks. I guess they could I could preemptively blessing it. Wait, what? Or do they have double Borrower? Are they gonna get double Borrower to get completely savage because I can't play Magic at instant speed? This seems like a really bad Hearthstone deck. Whew! Alright, we killed him. We did it, chat. We did not shoot the sheriff. but we shot the Teferi. Do 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 do. Yeah, I wonder if they misclicked. In just 31 short weeks, Teferi will rotate out of standard. The 31 shortest weeks of your life, chat. Well, I mean, the fact that they chose not to kill this in combat on our last turn means we have a real shot here. So that's great.
The storied past holds our future.
So we get to make this indestructible. The lion will die. The lion will come back into play on the Paradise Druid. And we'll get to draw a card here. So the fact that my opponent didn't kill this with the questing beast is like really huge here. We like often talk about like my exact record with decks not being super important, and this game's a good example of that. Like even if we win this game, we definitely shouldn't have. Our opponent was a little bit too greedy, or maybe made a mistake or a misclick, but they let us into this game that we shouldn't have been in. King Dom, thank you for the quarter view. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think I just pass here, because I don't want to play training, miss on a land in 2 draws, and then have us not have indestructible up next turn. And I feel like Voltron here is getting pretty well set up. The next turn we'll be able to draw like 4 cards, hopefully find a land. All right, that's a big one. How do I know what they're targeting? Is there any way to know? Okay, it's lit up. Wait, are they targeting all that glitters or Bronzehide Lion? I think they're targeting all that glitters. I think. That guy Fox, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Glandia. You're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Yeah, the Lion's highlight, we can activate it, exactly right. Alright, so they're going to get to attack us for 6 next turn and put us to 1. If they have a Nissa, we're dead. No Nissa. Step 1. That'll kill us too. So, almost pulled through because our opponent made a mistake. Wasn't quite able to close. Gideon's good against sweepers. Blessing's fine. Bringing in extra threats. Maybe I could trim Envoy. Seems reasonable. Okay. I'm gonna bottom that. I think we're looking for a Vigilance enchantment or a way to draw some extra cards here. Season's Growth or Setessan Champion. Extra threat's not a terrible pickup in general. Probably go tap land Paradise Druid, serve for 2 next turn. Give ourselves an extra chance to draw something that draws us extra cards. I think I'm gonna play one of these trainings out. See what we draw. Perfect. Next turn we'll get to gas up here. It is currently snowing here. Supposed to get a mix of light snow and rain for all day, and then it's supposed to have a winter weather warning starting at midnight into tomorrow. So it's not supposed to be bad until this evening. I'm gonna bottom this because they're either gonna sweep the board here or they're gonna die. If they sweep the board, I don't really need a blessing. I need another threat. I think Yarok and Thassa's probably win more. The problem with both Thassa and Yarok is that neither of them are cards that directly impact the board on their own. So they need help with other things past that. And I feel like this isn't a format where you can play kind of individually clunky cards, much less two of them. We're actually going to play a Yarok deck again today. We have Sultai Dread is a Yarok deck, but it does not include Thassa, mostly for the reasons I just listed. Are you dead yet? Knight of Autumn, sure. Gonna lose the... all the glitters, I assume. They're bad synergy cards, is the reason. They're cards that aren't good on their own. Magic's not a game about synergies anymore. It's a game that's about playing individually powerful cards, and if those individually powerful cards also happen to have synergies with something else in your deck, that's nice upside, but it's generally not the goal. You need your cards to be good when your strategy gets picked apart. And if you're leaning on your cards being good only with your other cards, you're going to be picked apart too often and just be left with cards that don't really do anything. I'm doing all right. I explicitly set my goals to realistic so I don't overdo it anaphylactic. Like, there's a reason why I don't ever promise 24-hour streams or things like that. Yesterday's towards the upper limit of what I'll do. Self-care and knowing what your range is supposed to be is important. Scale of 1 to dead, what are we working with here, opponent? Hopefully between Gideon, Lion, Paradise Druid, they're dead here. Even if they sweep, I get to save the Lion and draw a card. They dead through this. They go block, block, take 5. Yeah, they're dead, right? This is trample too. I agree, anaphylactic. That's why whenever I do long stream goals, you'll generally see me do 10 or 12-hour streams as my goals, because those are realistic and attainable, and not bad content. I know there's a number of people on Twitch that enjoy making other folks suffer, but I'm too old for that nonsense. I'd rather people be here because they want to see my content, not because they want to see me be miserable. Huh? This is a giant killer matchup? What do they have? They have Krasis, they have Questing Beast, they have Uro. They might have Dream Trawler. This can tap Dream Trawler. I think that's better than Envoy. I feel like it might be. Let's try swapping those two. See how it feels. Hey, Stephen Douglas, thanks for the 20 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Perfect. Good mix of stuff here for us. Paradise Druid gonna smooth our mana out very nicely. Thanks, Anaplectic. I think we just do this. They sweep the board this turn. It's not too big of a deal because I have Bronzehide as a follow-up. Ooh. Sounds great. Do I play around the sweeper here? I don't know. Like, they didn't do it last turn, right? Maybe they were sandbagging for more value. I don't know. Like, this is technically only adding like one card to the board because this one drew a card. I can see an argument for being more conservative here. Also, like, Blessing only gives indestructible and hexproof if it's targeting an enchanted creature or an enchantment creature. So I can't currently save champion with it. Is the thing. Alright, I assume that play means they don't have a sweeper. Or maybe they do have a sweeper and they forgot what the text on Blessing was. I think if we get a next turn with our board, we'll probably try and throw all that glitters onto champion and go from there. Morning, gamers.
Strange and magnificent world.
All right, so something just came across my Twitter timeline, and like, as if I needed this more, as if I needed more of this in my life. Is this like actual factual manaless dredge in Modern? Just like, as if we needed a sign, another sign that like the format is what it is. Just like actual factual manaless dredge. That's great. That's hilarious. Here's a link to the tweet if you want to look at the deck list. But that, you know. All right, what am I doing here? Sorry, there's a game of Magic I'm supposed to be playing. Am I taking a donation to play that in Modern? Maybe. I don't know. Bringer for dinner. Thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Can't get flooded if you have no lands. Ain't that the truth? How long do you say it takes to get to Mythic, from Mythic to top 1200? Well, I mean, depends on where you're at in Mythic. And if you're having only an okay streak, you're not going to. You have to run hot to finish in the top 1200. Generally speaking, you have to win more than twice as much as you're losing to make headway. You often, after you lose a match, you often have to win 2 to make up for the match you just lost. And then you need to win a 3rd to actually get ahead. Tasty Wonton, thank you for the 16 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I mean, like, when people talk about the ladder being a good measure of skill, it's a good measure of determination. And, like, I guess you have to be okay at Magic to hit good streaks, but it's incredibly high variance. Like I said, I'm like half caring about the ladder this month. I'm going to try and play a couple of decks that I think are reasonable, but there's a very real chance even playing good decks that we just don't make it without playing enough. You have to play. The way it works is, if you're okay at Magic, you play a bunch and you basically just sit there and float, winning twice as much as you lose, and then eventually you hit a streak and bump up a bunch, and then after you hit that streak, you should stop playing, because again, the ladder's rancid and discourages you from actually playing Magic. Well, I mean, climbing to Mythic is easier than that. Getting to Mythic is very straightforward and reasonable. The problem with the way their ladder system and internal MMR is structured, once you're in Mythic, climbing in Mythic from itself from there isn't just a straightforward formula. Winning twice as much as you lose while climbing up to Mythic will get you there relatively quickly. You have to do better than that to spike into the top 1200 once you're inside of Mythic. Huh, you know? There's all these Brazen Borrower and Teferi decks. Yeah, I'm actually just going to concede this. I'm off this deck. And I don't want to play this deck against a bunch of Brazen Borrowers and Teferis. So, I think this deck's fine. I'm going to leave it up on the website, but I'm going to cross. This is not something someone had submitted. I put this in the queue myself because I wanted to see how it could possibly feel today. And after playing against a bunch of Brazen Borrowers and Teferis, this is just not something I want to be doing. Just between... You can't even use your blessings to protect your stuff because you're playing Hearthstone half the time. I don't think that actually solves problems that you have, Umabale. I think on average, like, trying to put pants on things just isn't a good plan in a format full of bounce spells. Thanks for the 8 months, Cardboard Tech. I appreciate it. Welcome back. All right. I'm going to hit a quick ad roll while I get things flipped over. When we get back, we're going to play some Sultai Dreadhorde. Not Sultai Dreadhorde, Sultai, Dread, Yarok, whatever this is called. Sultai, Yarok, Dread. Why is there a Spark Double? That's... okay, yeah, all right. We'll be back with this in a minute. Thanks for checking it out today, folks.